And it's also going to be a great year in 2025 for Irish track and field fans, with Virgin Media Television continuing to broadcast the Diamond League, following off the back of it being back on Irish TV for the first time in 2024. And what a year it was for Irish track and field in 2024. Medals, records set all over the world, and of course you can forget the Olympics too. And one man who was central to that was Tom Barr. Tom, what a year it was. Firstly, your reaction to the Diamond League being back on Irish TV for another year.
I think it's brilliant because athletics has always just had the one sort of song every year where it would be the European Championships, World Championships or Olympics, but the top athletes are always competing throughout the year in the Diamond Leagues, and it's just as big a standard as any of those other big events. So I'm delighted to see it being brought to the forefront, because athletics is in a really good place in Ireland. So for the Diamond Leagues to be televised, it allows also not only for people to see the top performers, get involved in athletics more, but it also allows people to get behind and tell the story, or get behind the story of how athletes' seasons are going throughout the year, keep track of how athletes are doing before it just comes to the big game.
Listen, I know you've had some time off over Christmas, so did you manage to get a few minutes to yourself, sit down, reflect, and have a look at the medals and think, what a year it was?
I'd still, even when I pull them out, I do a lot of school visits, and every time I pull them out and everyone gets excited, I still think, are these actually mine, or is someone going to take them off me one of these days? But no, it hasn't sunk in, and it won't for a long, long time, to think of what we actually managed to achieve in the mixed relay in particular over the last season. We knew it was going to be a busy season, and we knew it could be a really, really big season if we got it right. So April, May time when we were running in the World Relay Championships was absolutely key to solidify our kind of position going forward for the season, and we kind of rode the wave as best we could, and then we ended up coming home with some goldware from Rome in the European Championships, and made the semi-finals in Paris in the Olympics. But with the timetable the way it worked out, I think it was probably not a bad thing to give the girls in our team who had individually qualified in the 400 and also in the women's relay, which was later in the programme, gave them a chance to focus on those.
And lots of people were kind of harking back to the days of Sonia O'Sullivan, when we'd all crowd around the TV to watch her, a bit like the moments in '94 and Italia '90. But do you think Irish track and field is now in its strongest position it's ever been since probably then?
Yeah, and even to think that we're being compared to Italia '90, I still think is absolutely bonkers to think that that was the excitement that was generated behind the in particular Rome and the relay in Rome. But it's fantastic to have been a part of that, and it's nice for the sport to be at that position, to be thinking of it as no longer a minority sport within the country at the moment. I mean, athletics clubs are full throughout the country, and if you can't see it, you can't be it. So it's brilliant to see that more and more kids are wanting to get involved, and I think now the fact that it's going to be televised more regularly on the TV and it's going to be brought to Virgin Media is fantastic, because that exposure is going to be even more continuous, which means hopefully we'll get more people involved and hopefully grow the level of the sport. So we really need to hold on to what we have now and not let it slip away. So I'm delighted to see that it is good. It is going to be covered in such great detail.
And there is 15 races. I have to ask you, so you've been around the block.
I have. I've been to most of them, yeah.
Which are the favourite ones? There's obviously the standout ones like Monaco and maybe Paris. But
yeah, Monaco is the one that I never got to go to, and it's the one that all of the athletes on the circuit talk about as being the best, for the weather conditions, for the luxury in Monaco, of course, that goes with it. I think Oslo is probably one of my favourite meets, because Karsten Warholm, world record holder in my event, is from Norway. His local track is Oslo, it's where he trains. So there's always a huge turnout, and the energy in that stadium is second to none. It's absolutely unbelievable when you step out onto that track, and I've raced there maybe 3 or 4 times, and I always look forward to it.
Okay, Irish athletes, who are we looking for this year? Who's going to make another big step up, do you think?
I think it would be rude of me to overlook Rashida. Is probably one of the biggest stars in our sport at the moment. We have a lot of talent, a lot of big names at the moment. We have in the distance, we have Kieran McGean, we have Mark English, Brian Fay, Cathal Doyle, Luke McCann. We have a huge amount of athletes that are sort of breaking their way into the next level. And then, on the sprint side, then we have a lot of the girls are really coming through, especially in the 400s. We have Sarah Lavin in the sprint hurdles. So there are a lot of names, like household names at this point in the sport. Often we're used to having 1 or 2 in athletics, but we have a lot there that are really stepping up to the mark. And also, not just stepping up to the mark, but making their mark on the world stage.
Very much so. We can't wait for it. It will all kick off in April.